Hey fam, it's your girl Jonna, and I'm so excited to welcome you guys to season 1 episode 1 of the Filling My Cup Be Right Back podcast. So the Filling My Cup Be Right Back podcast is a real talk wellness podcast. We're going to talk about our wellness journeys. I'll be sharing my personal wellness journey. I will have guests that will be sharing their wellness journey as well as their expertise in the wellness space, but it's going to be from the place of just keeping it a buck, because I listen to other wellness podcasts and they are very and woo, and that ain't me and this ain't that, okay? So, you know, if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for relatable content in the wellness space, I'm your girl, and Filling My Cup Be Right Back is your podcast. So me personally, what inspired me to start my wellness journey was this: basically my whole world was crumbling to the ground. I mean, that's just what it was. And my whole world was pretty much crumbling to the ground, and I had been trying to keep my world afloat for years on my own, thinking I can do it on my own. I know everything, I got this, and I didn't have it. I didn't have it. Your girl didn't have it. And it kind of got to a place, my health was declining, my marriage was suffering, my child was, you know, of course, I'm not being able to pour into him like I should have. I feel like some of my friendships were kind of getting bumpy. I got a chin check, basically. I know people probably say this all the time, like, well, you had to go through all of that. You had to do all of that just to finally get to it. Yes. Some people, we got hard heads, okay? We got hard heads, and you know, the soft tap ain't gonna get it. It's just not. And I hate that. I hate that, you know, it was like that. And as I went through therapy and all that stuff, I found out why was I that way? Why was I so hard-headed? I had a rude awakening that what was going on, it just wasn't it. It wasn't doing what it was supposed. It wasn't giving what it was supposed to give. It was not giving what it's supposed to give. And I literally just laid it like, I don't know, God. I don't know. I am all ears. I just got quiet. Finally shut my mouth and got quiet, and surrender came to me clear. And I don't think I had ever really thought much about that word or what it meant, and that kind of sent me along this wellness path. That, and also I believe it was Debbie Brown, who I do enjoy her wellness podcast and her wellness content. And she shared an affirmation, and that affirmation, I believe, was something like, may I be a home for wellness. And at the time, you know, I just had so much going on in my family life. I had so much going on in my health. For you guys that may have already seen, that are not new to me, I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, which is like an autoimmune disease that really affects your thyroid, and it just affects your ability to function. And you know, I was struggling with that, and that idea of the two of those things coming together, surrendering in order to be a home for wellness, clicked. And so I started surrendering immediately. I started surrendering. I really started to dig deep into that concept of surrendering and really understanding like what you can and should really actually be in control of, and understanding that, you know, the control and the thinking I know everything is really fear-based. That started to shift, started to go to therapists on a regular basis for me, and it just really started to focus on me. And that's probably the first time I ever really focused on me outside of like wanting to focus. You know, you want it to be all about you. Everybody kind of just thinks like, and when I say wanted to be all about me, it's just the idea that I think I got it. I know what I'm doing. I got this, and I don't need anybody to kind of help me. I got this. And realizing, no, you don't. No, you don't. And how you doing it, how you been doing it. You about to like really mess up. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want that. I didn't want that for my husband. I didn't want that for my son. I didn't want that for my friends and my family that I love and that's around me. And started to see like, oh, this is really how, being open to seeing how people are really experiencing you. When you shift that and you start tapping into like your best self, this makes me feel much better. I feel good. I feel good about myself. I don't just feel right. I feel good. I feel at peace. I feel calm. I don't feel, on edge. Like it was just great. And so I've just been on that path, and I see how it has just really blessed me and everything around me. So now that I feel a little more grounded in that, I can kind of reopen up my focus to other aspects of my life, especially my health, and it can be a more comprehensive wellness journey. In the meantime though, I do enjoy making content, and at the time I was not producing content. I didn't feel comfortable. I actually had the idea for this podcast before I went through that kind of epiphany, for lack of a better word, but I just didn't feel comfortable because it wasn't my truth. I felt like it was aspirational even for myself, like what I wanted to talk about, which is what this podcast will be. I felt like I just didn't feel like you ain't really living that life even yourself yet, so you can't really speak on that. You got to do a little bit of work. And so it just kind of all like played itself out that the work got done, and now I feel like it's a good time to go ahead and share some of the journey, the things that I learned, and hopefully inspire someone else to start their wellness journey. And let people know it's not just about losing weight. Like everything is not about losing weight. Sometimes the weight you need to lose is here. It's up here, not down here. It's in here and in here and not all around here. Sometimes that's the weight you need to lose, and I feel like that was the case with me. So what I plan to cover on this podcast, like I said, is my own personal wellness journey, and what I realized are, as I'm doing my research, 8 pillars of wellness. And I kind of tapped into these 8 pillars of wellness as a more comprehensive. Like I said, the whole idea for me was to be a home for wellness. So it wasn't just about the bubble baths and the massages and taking girls trips or taking personal trips, to be by myself and sit on the beach. All those things are, in fact, a part of a wellness journey, but they are not the end all be all. And I find that in this space, those are the things that get focused on, the soft life. Those are the things that get focused on because that's the fun part of it. But we really have to tap into the not so soft life. We got to tap into that tunnel work. I call it tunnel work because it's not a cave, it's a tunnel. With a cave, you go in, it's dark, and there's no way out. There's no other side. With the tunnel, yes, it gets dark and you may not be able to see, but there's something on the other side of the tunnel. That's what a tunnel is. You go in one side, you come out the other, into wherever it is that you're trying to get to. That being in that tunnel is not always the soft life. Maybe the soft life is on the other end of that, but you can't skip it. If you skip it, you're not really gonna find that home, that peace within. And then that translates to the external things that you do. You feel me? So the 8 pillars of wellness that I identify is the physical, social, nutritional, intellectual, emotional, financial, spiritual, and environmental. During season 1, I'll be sharing a little bit more about those wellness pillars and some of the tips and tricks and tools that I've used and created that can help you incorporate the things under those pillars into your wellness journey. And in the future seasons, I'll have special guests and experts here to interview them so they can share their wellness journey and also share, their expertise within these pillars of wellness. It's going to be real talk. It's going to be tea spilling. It's going to be all of that because that's just who I am. And my friends, my peeps, like that's who they are. So it'll always be, you know, down to earth, relatable content here on the Filling My Cup Be Right Back podcast. And so I hope that you guys, you know, will enjoy that style and build a community of people that can just keep it real about how it really is. It's not all, you know, fluffy pillows. Sometimes it's just not that. And so we're gonna get into all of that here. So what I really hope to achieve with this podcast is just opening people's minds to all the pieces of wellness and how that they can incorporate them into their own wellness journey. I wanted to, again, like I said, I wanted to be relatable. I wanted to be real, and I wanted to feel like it's attainable. Women like myself, women of color, women who are wives, women who are moms. The information can benefit everyone, but that's really who I'm speaking to. That's who I really have a heart for, because that's who I am, and that's who I feel like I needed to hear from when I was on the path. And I didn't always find that. I didn't always find people who spoke my language, who was from the culture and spoke my language and had my life experiences that could relate. I didn't always find that. And so I want to be that and bring that to the podcast community. You know, I really believe that everyone can feel the best. We all should be able to feel strong, feel confident, feel at peace, and be a home for wellness for ourselves. And so I hope that through this podcast and sharing my own experience, having other people share their experience and their expertise, that you all who are listening will be able to tap in and really be able to fill your cups. The whole idea of the Be Right Back piece of the podcast title is that this is not going to be a long drawn out episodes. You know, hopefully they will be short and sweet, especially when it's just me. They'll be short and sweet, just something that you can listen to or watch wherever you are, you know, consuming this podcast. Something you can listen to while you're sipping on your coffee or having some tea or drinking your water, and while you're filling your literal cup, like you'll be filling your, you know, wellness cup as well. I thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. I hope this episode created some space for you to fill your cup, and we'll be right back with the next episode. Bye.